The South China Sea, one of the most vital bodies of water in the world. It is home to bustling trade routes and abundant natural resources. Yet, it has become the epicenter of one of the most heated territorial disputes in modern history. At the center of this conflict is China's Nine-Dash Line, an aggressive claim that stretches over most of the South China Sea, including waters the Philippines calls its own. But what does this mean for the Philippines' sovereignty and the future of the Filipino people? In this documentary, we'll uncover the hidden truths behind the Nine-Dash Line and explore what it means for the future of the Philippines and its security. The Philippines sits at the crossroads of Southeast Asia, making it a key player in the region's security. It is not just about protecting Philippine territory. This dispute impacts the entire Indo-Pacific region, where maritime trade routes are vital to global commerce. The Philippines is caught in the middle of a tug-of-war between China's expanding military and its own national security concerns. This documentary also highlights how global powers like the United States and Japan have played a role in supporting the Philippines' stance against China's growing influence. Through alliances, joint military drills, and diplomatic pressure, the world's attention is on the Philippines as it stands firm against China's territorial claims. China's Nine-Dash Line has led to the militarization of the region. Despite the ruling in 2016, China has continued to build military infrastructure on disputed islands, turning them into fortified outposts. This has raised concerns among Filipinos about the growing threat to national security. In response, the Philippines has begun to strengthen its military capabilities. The country has invested in modernizing its Navy and Air Force, and it has built stronger military ties with its allies to safeguard its sovereignty. The rise in tensions has also led to a growing nationalist movement within the Philippines, with many people calling for greater defense spending and a more assertive approach to China's aggression. The South China Sea is not just a political issue, it's about resources. Underneath these contested waters lies vast oil and natural gas deposits, resources that could fuel the Philippines' economy for generations. Fishing is also a vital industry for millions of Filipinos who rely on the rich marine life of the region for their livelihoods. As China continues to assert its control over the South China Sea, Filipino fishermen are often caught in the middle of this conflict, facing harassment and even violence from Chinese patrol boats. This documentary will also explore the impact on Filipino fishermen, whose daily lives are disrupted by China's growing presence. These families are not just battling for their livelihood, they are fighting for their right to access the waters that have sustained them for generations. The Philippines' legal victory in 2016 was a major step in the country's defense against China's claims. The Permanent Court of Arbitration ruled that China had violated the Philippines' rights under international maritime law. Yet, despite this, China has continued to ignore the ruling, undermining international law and regional stability. The documentary will also highlight the role of the United Nations and the International Court of Justice in supporting the Philippines' stance. The story of the Philippine government seeking support from global allies from the US to ASEAN nations has shaped the diplomatic battle being fought alongside military confrontations. The Philippines' response to China's continued aggression has been twofold: diplomatic efforts and military readiness. Under the leadership of President Duterte, the country initially took a more diplomatic route, attempting to balance relations with China while still standing firm on territorial rights. However, as China's presence in the West Philippine Sea grew, so did the Philippines' need to protect its interests. The documentary will take a closer look at how joint military exercises with the US and other ASEAN nations are enhancing the Philippines' defense capabilities. The Philippines' military buildup is a crucial part of its strategy to defend the nation's sovereignty and to ensure that the West Philippine Sea remains a safe, accessible body of water for all Filipinos. In the vast expanse of the South China Sea, a geopolitical storm is brewing. As tensions continue to rise, the question remains, what's next for the Philippines? Will it stand firm against a superpower's growing military presence, or be forced to make significant compromises? For decades, this critical waterway, rich in resources and vital for global trade, has been a flashpoint. At the heart of the dispute are conflicting territorial claims. Beijing's expensive nine-line clashes directly with Manila's sovereignty, backed by international law. Incidents have become alarmingly frequent. Filipino fishermen who have sailed these waters for generations now face intimidation from heavily armed Chinese Coast Guard vessels. Supply missions to the BRP Sierra Madre, a beached World War II-era ship that serves as a makeshift garrison and a symbol of Philippine sovereignty, are met with blockades and water cannons. These gray zone tactics apply pressure without triggering open conflict, slowly altering the status quo. But the Philippines is not standing idle. In response, Manila is accelerating the modernization of its military and strengthening alliances with global partners. Diplomatically, it holds a landmark 2016 International Tribunal ruling that invalidated most of China's claims, a victory it continues to champion on the world stage. The future of the Philippines is inextricably tied to the future of the South China Sea. The question is no longer just about territory. It's about whether international law can hold a global power accountable, or if Southeast Asia is headed toward a more militarized, unstable future. If you found this documentary insightful and want to stay updated on the latest developments in the West Philippine Sea, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Your thoughts and opinions matter to us. What do you think about the Philippines' stand against China? Let us know in the comments below. For more in-depth content on the Philippine territorial disputes, global defense issues, and the future of Southeast Asia, subscribe and hit the notification bell to never miss a video. Stay informed and stay involved in the conversation. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more updates.